She's very nice. She now tells us that we're actually doing it. So welcome everybody to the June 2021 Dreamhouse webinar. Thank you for joining us, and for those who are watching this back on the website at a later date, where were you? We missed you, and why weren't you here? But yeah, it's somebody. I heard somebody on the radio today saying it's only 6 months till Christmas. So yeah, we can do this. We can do this. I need my summer holidays. I'm finding myself getting tired, but we're getting there. So just before we start dividing up into do different things, just one or two updates that you need to be aware of. So in terms of these webinars, I'll be taking July and August off, so we won't have one in those months. However, what I would encourage you to do is log into the website. There's years and years of these webinars sitting on the website that you can tap back into at any point. So if you miss looking at my face over the next 2 months, you'll find me there. Go back, especially for the new people. We had a guest speaker back in February. We had a session with John Thomas in February. It was a question and answer session. So you'll find lots of nuggets in that. I've gone back over it a couple of times and got some really good info from him. So feel free to go back over some of those that take your fancy. Other things that you need to be aware of, the people that I do all the IT with in terms of the website, we're hitting quite a lot of roadblocks, as those of you who've joined the Dreamhouse Friends recently may have experienced. So she is going to work on updating the way that you log into the website and things, and how your memberships and that work over the next few months. So just to flag up, the company is called Buttered Host. So if you get an email from somebody at Buttered Host, it's to do with you being a friend of the Dreamhouse. She's not sure yet if she'll need to contact you to change passwords and things. She's hoping not, but just in case you get an email, that's what it's about. Okay, so the idea is hopefully she's found this new plugin that should make things an awful lot easier than they've been up till now. She's done it with somebody else's website and it seems to be working okay. So she's now going to update the Dreamhouse website with that software. So just look out for that. And also, come September, we may need to change when these webinars are run. Yeah, so just to give you a little insight into what's happening in my life, on Monday, I am going for an interview for 2 hours for a course to learn how to hand make kilts. So yeah, it'll take me 6 months, and it'll be all day on a Friday, from the beginning of September till the end of February. So if I'm successful in getting that, then obviously I can't be here on a Friday afternoon, because I'll be in the centre of Edinburgh getting calluses on my fingers and learning how to do that. So I'm really excited. It's one of these things that's always been in the back of my head going, I really quite fancy that. And then we saw this course being advertised. The days that they do the training fit, the time scale fitted, so I've applied. So we'll just see how I get on Monday. So if we have to change, it'll either be we move to a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. So if you can, over the next sort of few weeks, have a look at your diary and ping me an email to say whether a Wednesday or a Thursday, no, a Tuesday or a Wednesday would be better for you. And then we'll go with whatever the majority are, okay? And if you know already, that's fine. Or if both are okay, then that's fine. But if everybody sends me an email with that information, then I've got a sort of trail of it, and that would help me. So yeah, so those are just a few little updates as to what's going on in the life of the Dream House. But I'm just so excited that we're getting new friends and things coming on board, and yeah, it's a little bit exciting. So yeah, what are we going to do this afternoon? Yeah, we've got a question from Germany, or a statement from Germany.
Is there any live dream interpretation this year in England planned? No. Okay.
No, nothing. Well, certainly nothing as far as I've heard. You know, there were lots of festivals and things planned, but a lot of them are now being, you know, they're not taking place because government restrictions aren't allowing people enough time to plan it and things. I know that Refuel is happening in the north of Scotland, and that's normally a Christian conference that the Dream House would take a team to, but unfortunately it clashes with a week at my paid job that I have to be in work that week. I just can't take that week off. So, you know, that was just really unfortunate. So hopefully next year, you know, that'll deconflict, and we'll be back there next year. But as far as I'm aware, this summer, there's nothing. I know that David's tent down in the south of England, as far as I'm aware at the minute, it's still going to be going ahead, but I don't know if they're offering any ministry this year. Because I have been involved in teams that have done that in the past, but we have had no notification to say if they want us there or not yet. So it might just be that they stick to the sort of 24/7 worship, rather than having all the extra things as well. I don't know. So that's a long answer to what should be the short answer, which is no. Unfortunately. But yeah, if I hear of anything, you know, then you guys will be the first to know, because that's one of the benefits, if you like, of being a friend of the Dream House, is that if I'm asked to take a team anywhere, you get first refusal as to whether or not you want to be part of the team. So yeah, as soon as I hear of anything, I will let you know, but there's nothing that I'm aware of at the minute. So yeah. Okay, so right, where are we? Yeah, this morning I had a really interesting email came into the Dream House, and I thought, well, I'm not going to unpack that just now. I'm just going to leave it, and we can unpack it this afternoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the content of the email. So I've just copied and pasted it into a Word document so that you can't see all the personal details of the person and whatever. But this is what they sent. And then what I'm going to do is we'll just read over it, and then I will break you into a couple of rooms, and then you can discuss it and then come back and say, well, what would you say to the dreamer about this? Okay, so the right one. Yeah. Okay. So let me see. I think I managed to get it. Yeah. So I've been playing about with things now. I now understand how I can make things bigger on the screen so that everybody can read it better. You know, little technical stuff always helps. So this was exactly what the dreamer said. They didn't tell me anything else. This was all that was in the email. So my understanding, a brief reading of it, is that the first paragraph was what actually happened, and then the second paragraph is the dream. Okay. So it says, I was awakened by my significant other who was struggling to move, squeezing me and saying, he is here. I opened my eyes and scanned the room to find on the left side of my room, where I keep my Bible, stood some kind of tall shadow being that exuded a dark aura. I started praying against him and over my significant other until I fell asleep. Once I slept, I immediately had a dream. I had a dream that I was fighting in a random tall brown-skinned man that was fighting hard to hurt me. For some reason, he put his forearm in my mouth as if trying to break my teeth, but I fought back hard. I could not see his face or figure out who he was, but in the dream there was a bunk bed in the room, so I pushed it into the guy and it hurt him, and I escaped. I'm wondering why I was not able to see the full colour description of said spirit as my significant other described it to me. Does my spiritual sight need tuning? Okay, so that was what was sent to me. Okay, so as I say, I'm going to break you into a couple of rooms. Janie, I'll put you in a group of 4, so if you need to duck out before they're finished, then it's not going to be a major issue, okay? And then, yeah, I'm going to give you maybe about 20 minutes just to chat this through and then come back with what would you say to this dreamer? So how would you respond? So imagine this came into your email inbox, or you met this person in the street, or this person came up to you in church. How would you respond if this is what they said to you? Okay, so you might want, I don't know if you might want to take a screenshot of this, because I don't think I can share it into the room. So I'll wait just a minute while you do that. So as long as we've got at least one copy per room, that should be all right. Okay. Because yeah, I don't think I can add share documents into the room, unfortunately. Right, so I will stop sharing now. And I will put you into a couple of rooms. So I'll bring you back at about 20 to 3. Okay, so you've got just under 20 minutes. So don't rush it. You've got time to pray over it. You've got time to discuss it, and then come together with what you feel would be the interpretation. Okay.
Can I just say, Heather, if you put us into rooms, if you don't keep one main room, you won't be able to keep recording. But if you keep one main room and put the others into another room,
yeah,
you can
no,
record the main room.
it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm planning just to put it on pause, so that you've got the space to go in and do your chatting without that being recorded or worrying if everybody else sees it. So it's not a problem.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, right. So I'm just about to open the rooms now. So you should have your invite. Hi, so we're all back. How was that? Was that an interesting one to look at?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I thought what occurred to me was that it was more than just a dream. So there was other things that needed to be taken into consideration there as well. So which room would like to feedback first about where you got to? How about we start with...
You can go if you want.
All right, okay, thanks, Alan.
Okay, right, fine. So bring up the dream, and then as we do it this way. Okay, this is in two parts. One is the physical, and one is the actual dream itself. The dream is a explanation of what just happened in the physical, I would say. That it's a spiritual warfare dream where you, the dreamer, are successful and you overcome through Jesus and through the community of the saints. And you push back on the dark force that's coming against you, who is trying to shut you up because he pushes his forearm into your mouth and take away your knowledge and your strategy, your understanding of what's going on by breaking your teeth. And so this is as much as a warfare dream. It's also a statement that you have the ability, working in community with other people, to actually share God's strategy for dealing with things and dealing with the situations. And in community, there is strength. And she's using that in the dream and using it also in the physical thing. As regards the question, finally, sorry, I'm going on a bit. Does my spiritual sight need tuning? Not necessarily. I don't think it does. But if you want it tuned, go to God. The tuning of gifts like this comes from time with God. Ask him about it. Chat it over with him. But you're doing well. This is a success dream as well as a warfare dream.
Okay, thanks for that. Any of the other two from that room want to add anything or comment on your discussions, or are you happy with what Alan just fed back?
Yeah, there's a couple of points, I think, specifically. The question that she had at the end, I felt was quite significant. And the fact she's questioning whether her spiritual sight needed tuning because she didn't see what her partner saw in the physical manifestation of the demon, as it was. But she actually received further revelation from the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So she was actually given a different perspective on what the visitation was about. So she actually had more than just what her partner practically saw.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to that question, I think, is she just has a different gifting that brought the revelation to the situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that her spiritual sight needed tuning. She just has something different to add to the perspective and the revelation.
Yeah. Okay, nice. What about the other group? So the people that were in the other room. So that was Avril and Martin and Claudia. And I don't know if Janie's still here or not, but what were your thoughts?
Well, we had a few different ideas.
That's all right.
So personally, I thought it was a warning dream. Janie thought it was a spiritual warfare dream. And we could both see that there was the physical side where, there was something dark in the room that, wasn't of God. So this made us question about whether the person was from perhaps the New Age or something on the other side anyway of God, and whether this person was in fact a Christian. The Bible in the room indicated perhaps that this person was either seeking God, but perhaps wasn't a Christian. So there was an inclination not maybe to interpret the dream at all, but the symbolism in here, the teeth indicating wisdom, the that was significant. and the ability to chew or process information was indicated by the group, as well as that the person perhaps needed wisdom and direction to God. So it sort of was difficult to sort of really go into the interpretation. We didn't get a proper interpretation as such, but more that we would want to pray with this person and direct them more towards God. Does the other people want to speak now?
Yeah, I agree. If this person would come to us, my first impression was this is a visit of a witch doctor. There's something occult in the background. That was my first impression. I normally trust those first impressions. And we would encourage the person about the teeth, that she's fighting real. And instead of tuning, we would send this person to talk to Jesus about it, because she has a Bible, though he or she, yeah. And that's where we come up. I don't have a dream interpretation in the normal sense here.
And we wondered about, oh, am I on?
Yeah, no, you're fine.
We wondered about the bunk bed, what significance, what symbolism that would represent. So normally, you know, a marriage bed would indicate a double bed or something to that effect. So why was it a bunk bed? And so it's still a bed that's joined, and the person is referring to their significant other. So we're wondering if this couple are perhaps married or living together, and whether that's significant. But nevertheless, this bunk bed was used as the weapon to help them overcome the attack or intrusion. And we wondered about, how did this intrusion come about? How did that person get into the room? Why was he there? And it did seem to be a real spirit in the room.
Yeah, okay, so thanks for that. Yeah, you've done some really, really good work this afternoon on this. It's not an easy situation to deal with, but there are little things here. I think the minimum that we need to do with this dream is to give the dreamer an answer to this question, because that's the real thing. You know, that's their most immediate need, if you like. So if we can give them an answer to this, excuse me, anything else we are able to offer them is like an added bonus. That we'd expand on that. So I'm wondering why I was not able to see the full colour description of the said spirit as my significant other described it to me. Does my spiritual sight need tuning? I think I would tend to agree with the first group and say, no, it doesn't. Just that you perceive things differently. But I would encourage them that if this is something that they're concerned about or they want to know more, then, you know, as I think the second group said, I would encourage them to go to God to ask more about it. You know, because he will ultimately be able to let them know if there is something that's blocking them seeing things, or if it's just, no, that's not what you needed to see. Okay. If we're to break this down a little bit more, in this first bit here, so the things that really happened, she started by saying my significant other was struggling to move. So that would suggest to me something in the realms of kind of sleep paralysis, which is usually demonic in its origin. So I can see what you're saying about witch doctor and things like that. I'm not sure if I would be as specific as that when I'm going back to the dreamer, but it's definitely something demonic. Or from the dark side, or however you want to, to phrase it. It's not something that's good that's going on, and actually it's affecting, or it is a battle that's going on. Her and her significant other are in this battle, and he's losing. The demonic force, whatever it is winning with him, but she's the one that's got the strength. I think the first group might be right. I think the dream might be a sort of reflection about what's actually happened, just letting her see that actually it was a fight that she was in, but she knew how to fight back, because in both places, in real life, she fought back because she started praying against the force in the room, and also praying over her significant other. So she knows that prayer is the weapon. And then in the second dream, or not in the second dream, in the second paragraph, she was the one that was fighting back. I fought back hard. So she's got the ability to fight against this force, whatever it happens to be. And she escaped, and she didn't get hurt. The demonic force got hurt, but she didn't. So it's just going to be a case for me over the next sort of couple of days to be praying over how much detail do I go back to her with. As you've kind of alluded to, there's indications here that if she's not a Christian, she's at least on the way to becoming one, or she's looking for something, because she has the Bible in her room. She knew about prayer, and that was her thing to go to. So, yeah, I'm just not sure how I'm going to word it exactly, but it is a spiritual warfare situation that she was literally in at the beginning, and then how we go about, sort of backing up. That's what the dream was confirming to you. With this dream, my kind of gut feeling at the minute is not to go into too much detail about it, and simply to keep it not flippant, that's not the right word, but not to go into too much detail about what the enemy was trying to do, breaking their teeth and putting his arm in her mouth and so on. I think what I'm sensing is that just telling her that this was backing up the spiritual fight that she's in, and that she can win at this stage is possibly enough. If she wants to know more detail, then the door's always open for her to come back and ask. And I think that would be a good point to be aware of as well. If you get somebody like this coming to you with a dream, rather than getting caught up in why was the enemy attacking your teeth, and why did you use the bunk bed, and on the first part I would keep it kind of general. If then the dreamer comes back with questions about, how did I fight this, then you might need to give them more information about, the bunk bed represents something to do with your intimacy, or whatever we feel that is right at that point. But the main thing that we need to do with this is answer her question about, does her spiritual sight need improving, or tuning was her word, wasn't it? So yeah, interesting one to work on. As I say, that literally came in at like 10:30 this morning, so it's brand new, off the peg, or out of my inbox, whatever way you want to look at it. So yeah, thanks for your input on that, and I'll spend the next sort of day or so just mulling that over and bringing in also the insights that you've received to that as well. And then I'll so just for the new people, what I tend to do if we work on a dream like this, I will send the information back to the dreamer, and then I'll send you a copy of what was sent to the dreamer as well, just so that you can see that closure. And then if we get any feedback from the dreamer, which sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, then I'll pass that on to you as well. Okay, and as if, you know, this hour always seems to go really, really quickly. So yeah, so it just remains for me to bless you. So Father, in the name of Jesus, I bless these wonderful friends of the Dream House with an increase of your spirit, an increase of understanding the way that you talk to your children, an increase in understanding how to communicate those messages in a way that people will understand and be able to receive and to grow in their relationship with you. And as we take a break over the summer, I bless you with the ability to rest in the arms of your Father, to know that you are loved, to know that you are safe, and to know that you are secure in his protection, and that no plans of the enemy can stand against you. So bless you, have a wonderful summer, and we will meet back again in September. But as I say, over the summer, please feel free to jump back onto the website, look at some of the previous recordings. You know, there's teachings on there, there's other dreams that we worked on. That's a resource to kind of keep you going. And then we'll see what happens on the other side of the summer. So rest well, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Heather.